this is one I've been looking forward to for a while now, all through the winter. It's the first proper trip of the year really, and back for a week on Brigueuil, which is one of the loveliest lakes I fished last year. We came here for a week last year and really enjoyed it here, so you know, I was looking forward to coming back and having another go. And we came out and spent a couple of days on one of the rivers first. We got a very nice guy, French guy Damien, that we know, and he said, you know, if we're in the area, come out and have a couple of days on the river with him. So that's what we did, and that was lovely. He wanted to keep it fairly quiet for obvious reasons, so we couldn't film there. But we caught a lot of nice fish, and a lovely couple of days there on a nice little stretch, no other anglers for miles, so it was lovely. But all the time we had it in our mind we were coming here, so we was looking forward to this. So finally we're here, and haven't got anything set up, just about to do the rods now actually. Just got the gear out the van. You can see it's all strewn about everywhere. Joan's big bivvy's up behind me here, so she's got that for the week. Well, we've both got that, but I'll be out here by the rods doing my bit. Seen a couple of fish jump already actually. As soon as I got out of the van, saw a fish jump, and in a totally different area to where I saw anything last year, so it's going to be different to how it was last year, I think. And apparently the fish that have been caught recently are in different areas to where I expected them to be honest. So it's early days yet, so I don't know what's going to happen, but really pleased to be back. It's a lovely place. This Tracy and Andy are brilliant people, really lovely lake owners. So yeah, happy days. We're here anyway. I've got the rods, just about to get them baited up and get them out there and see if we can catch a few. Everything was looking good, fish were out in the swim, and sure enough it wasn't long after getting the rods out when I got the first run of the week. Unfortunately it didn't go to plan when the fish kited along the dam wall and hit a snag, and after a while the fish came off and I was left with nothing more than a branch on the end. So it wasn't a great start, but it wasn't too long before the next run came along the following morning, and that went a lot better. Well, there we go, we're off the mark. So yeah, an eventful first night anyway, and great to get one, and a decent one too. There were certainly a few showing, well, not over the area where I caught the fish, but down this end of the lake anyway, so it was looking hopeful. But this came from really over towards the sluice, which normally seems to be the main producing area in this swim, but the fish I was seeing were more round to the left. So, you know, I've got a couple of rods over to that side, but it was the old banker area that went. So happy days, yeah, £41 on the scopex squid, one of my favourite old baits, so I'm pleased to see that back. And it's working just as well as ever, so yeah, happy days. You know, it's only the first day on the lake, so it's nice and quiet here. It's lovely and peaceful, beautiful place. Bit of a misty old morning, but very, very carpy. So yeah, hopefully a few more like this to come during the week. Certainly looking good anyway. Fish are around and they're feeding, and yeah, this is the first one, just to start. Whew, all good stuff. Nice week to come. Right, I've just wandered round down the bank here to a spot I'm putting a rod to. You can see the swim's back there. But the marker for the spot is just out here. It's only about 10 yards out from the bank. So, I mean, it's very quiet on here this week. There's actually no one else on here at the moment, which is amazing. So, you know, they're not going to get any food other than what I'm putting in. So if the fish are hungry, and there's plenty of them in here. Hopefully over a period of a day or a few days they're going to come and find this. Well, it's been a quiet night. Nothing, no bleeps, no action, and yeah, I'm thinking about a move basically for a few nights. It's well, it's very quiet on here. I mean, I've been the only one on the lake up until now. Last night, a guy I know from years ago, actually, Richard, he's arrived and he was booked into swim 1, so he's in there now. So basically, the two of us are down this end of the lake. But yesterday, I was seeing a few fish showing, but they were basically all at the far end of the lake. There was nothing in this half of the lake, so it wasn't really a surprise that last night nothing happened. And it's a problem that you have when there's not many people on the lake. You know, you arrive at a lake and there's no one on. You think, brilliant, I've got the whole lake to myself. But of course, as soon as you catch a couple of fish or you know, have a couple of takes, the fish go whoosh up the other end where there's no lines, and basically that sort of seems like what's happened really. But of course, the other flip side of that is that there's no one in any of the other swims up there, so I've got a good choice of areas to move and have a little go at, which is great. I did it last year on here actually, and I went over to the far side of the lake in swim 8, and that paid off. I had a couple of bites over there, nice common I had, £35 common. This time the whole of the bank down to my left here is free, and there's a swim halfway down swim 11, which basically it covers a lot of water from there. It's sort of central on that bank, so there's no one here, so I can spread the rods right out and cover a lot of water. I had a couple of looks there yesterday and there was fish showing different areas reachable from that swim, so that's the plan. It's a bit of a miserable old day. It's been raining, it's just stopped at the moment actually. So in a little while I'm going to put a few bits of gear together. I'm going to travel light. I'm going to leave most of this here because there's no one here, so I can leave this here, just travel with the scope brolly, take my bed round, a few bits and pieces, tea gear, all my rods, and well, hopefully, you know, land on a few fish around there, which well, it looks like the rain's setting for the day anyway, but no bother. I've been told they like the rain here actually, so hopefully they do. So we've got plenty of it. I think we've got the same tomorrow actually. But there we go. Right, 2 scope wreck squid going on this one. 2 little 15 millers. They do go nice and hard once they've been in the salt for a while. So yeah, take a little bit of getting through with the needle, but they're nice. I prefer them a little bit harder. There we go. Normal rig, I don't know, about 10 inches, foot long. Usual little fang twister, micro barbed, size 5 that is, with 2 little, like I say, 2 15mm scope squids. So I know that if I'm on the fish they'll have that all day long. So it seemed like the fish had moved off where I was, bit of pressure, moved them off. And I've seen fish showing up here, so well, I've basically got this half of the lake to go at now. No one else up this end at all. So I'm going to get these out, spread them right around this end of the lake actually, one right down the end, and sort of split it into quarters. So yeah, and see what happens. If one area seems better than the other, I can move them about, but I'm going to cover a fair bit of water up here anyway, and you know, no doubt there's fish here somewhere. So yeah, we'll see if I can catch some anyway, see how it goes. Well, the move's paid off. Whew. Rods have only been out a couple of hours, I suppose. And I guess this was the rod I was most hopeful in. It was, well, there is a marker, an old marker out there. But I didn't actually see that until it brightened up. It just looked a good spot by some old pads out there, so I dropped it there. It drops down from sort of 3 to 4.5 foot, and yeah, off it's gone. A nice common. There we go, job done. Oh, that's made the move worthwhile already. God. That's a big fish. That's a big one. Oh, well, there we go. What a great surprise. First fish out of this swim, and the move well and truly paid off. I was seeing fish showing down here yesterday, and toyed with the idea of moving, and even though the weather has been horrible, I thought, well, just go for it, you never know, at least I'm on fish down here. And sure enough I was. This was the first one on the old Scope X squid. Oh, well pleased for that. 51.12. I don't think it'll be the last one, but God, what a nice result anyway. Makes all that effort, packing up and moving and setting up, getting the rods out in the rain, getting soaking wet, all worth it for this fish. Well chuffed. It's all a bit hectic. God, just put a £51 comma back, and off it goes again with this one. This was the long range rod out of the 4 of them. But there we go, happy days, getting action. So just on last knockings now, so I'm going to get this one back, and well, I'm going to get this one back, so I think you've got to go back, and get both of them rods back out while I can still see what I'm doing. Whew. Getting bashed up again. Nothing new, is it? Well, action keeps coming. Whew. This was actually on the same rod I had the big common yesterday evening, and it looked like it could be the best spot in the swim. It is between two nice little groups of pads out there, and so I wasn't surprised when it was the first one that went off, and sure enough it's gone off again. 41-pound mirror, absolutely stonking fish, lovely fish in here. I do really like this place, and this is why. I mean, last year I struggled to get on the fish, you know, there's a few more people here, and they just happened to be already in the swims where the fish, well, the main bulk of the fish were. But you know, happy days this year, those swims are free, so I've jumped in one of them, and you know, this is the result. It's all going pretty well at the moment. Just had a little toot there. It could go off any minute. It's been going off all the time, so you know, I'm a little bit nervous about doing anything. You can't walk away from the rods, that's for sure. But there we go. What a lovely fish this is, and just one of the many, and I'm sure there's more to come. So there we go. Great stuff. This one completes the set in a way. Not a cracking 41-pound mirror. Sorry, not 41 pound, 40 and a quarter. This one, just over 40. But it was on the last rod that hadn't gone, if you like. I put 4 rods out, all on different spots, spread them out all over the area, and 3 of them had gone off, and this was the last one that hadn't. So this completes the set. Just about to put the kettle on for a cup of tea, and it's gone hammering off. Oh God, it's been a brilliant move. I'm worn out already. Loads of fish up this end. What a beauty. Wow, that is lovely. Well, we've actually had a little bit of a lull in the action at last. It's been quite tiring actually, but in a good way. Since dragging all the gear down, you know, it was quite wet and cold yesterday afternoon, but I got all that gear down to here, got the rods out, and after that it's hardly stopped going off. I think 9 bites or something, 9 or 10 bites since yesterday afternoon. There we go. It's just quietened off for an hour or so at the moment, so I'm just taking a chance to tie some new rigs up. You know, it's the usual sort of thing. The main thing is getting on the fish, which I've done here. You know, I had a couple of quiet nights, and the best rigs and best baits in the world, I ain't going to catch them if they're not there. So, you know, once I've got on the fish, oh presto, it's going off all the time. But good bait is always a priority, so, you know, Scopex squid, I'm on that. And you know, that's a little snowman, and what that is, it's a 20mm Scopex squid bottom bait with a citrus pop-up. And you know, one of the many questions I often get asked is, do I mind mixing baits together, you know, different flavours, different textures, different base mixes, and the answer is no, I don't mind really. If it's good bait, then I don't mind putting it out there, and I don't mind mixing them together either. The other bait sort of sums that up as well, because that's well, two bottom baits. It's a tiger nut and a Scopex squid 15mm. There's different boilies gone out. There's the key cray pellets, which have been really good. I've been putting them out, a few tigers as well. So there's quite a mixture of bait going out there. But the important thing is, it's going in places where the fish are. You know, that's what it's all about. As long as it's very good quality bait, a good rig, and then you know, your eyes do the rest, and your mind does the rest as well. You know, we complicate things far too much in our mind most of the time, I think. And we could always look more, use our eyes more, and you know, that's what's happened here. I've used my eyes and I saw the fish showing up here, so I've moved up here. Good quality baits, good rigs, and the fish do the rest basically. Well, a funny little take. It was just bleeping, this one, but I think the fish was kiting, just kiting on a tight line. It was right across my little set of pads out there, and bleeping. I wasn't sure whether it was either liners or just the wind, because that wind's blowing everything all over the place. Sure enough, there was one on there. Does feel like I couldn't miss one. Not seen it yet, but it is getting close to the surface there. No. Maybe not as big as I thought. It's a nice one though. Well, it was one of those times where it felt a lot bigger than what it was. One of those, you know, usual ones. If I'd lost it, I would have lost a 50. I mean, it's still a decent fish. He went 39.5 actually, and nice yellow coloured fish. But I do notice that it's something that happens sometimes when the lead stays on, when the lead doesn't discharge. I've been pushing the rubbers on a little bit tighter, just so I don't lose so many leads. And there we go, it's a lovely yellow fish. Anyway, 39.5, just short of 40. It's a bit of a bleak, miserable morning. It's just not stopped raining. I was waiting for it to stop raining to try and do these, but it's not going to, so I'll just have to get on and do them. But this was the first one. Cracking fish, 38.12, lovely clean looking mirror again. But yeah, it's probably going to be the last of the action here. I've had a couple of nights here, but there's someone due in the swim tomorrow morning, so I could stick it out too early tomorrow morning. But I'll probably pack up this afternoon and head back to the chalet swim. And there's the other one, 35.25. Real breeze block of a fish, and looks like it's going to be a real chunk in the future, this one. But there we go. As I say, it's wet and miserable, so I'm going to get this one back and go and get warmed up in the chalet, where it's nice and dry and comfortable and warm. It's got kettles and TVs and things like that. Well, last knockings, last morning now, and well, I've got actually everything packed away except the rods, and I've had one to finish up with. It was definitely worth moving back round here from the other swim. Spent the last couple of nights back in the chalet, and well, it's been lovely. Bit of comfort round here, and well, 3 takes last night. One fell off, and a £27 mirror that I put straight back, and this one which was £34, so a lovely way to finish up, and a cracking fish too. So wind was howling down into here last night, it was blowing a bit of a hoolie, bit wet. Yeah, 3 out of the 4 rods went off, and well, it's a nice way to finish. It's been a great trip. It's a lovely place, this, it really is. Andy and Tracy are brilliant people, and yeah, Paul Armfield, he's a great guy as well. He sorts the trips out here, but the lake itself and the fish are absolutely outstanding, and yeah, I've got amongst a few this week, so it's been nice. Frankie the Big Common was the star of the show obviously, but there's been some lovely mirrors like this one as well. So as usual, all good things have to come to an end, so time to get this one back. Just put the rods away, that's all that's left, and then we'll head for home. But yeah, I'm sure it won't be too long before we're back here again, but there we go, see you next time anyway.